much for coming today. Oh, hi, Marie, based in France. Amazing. Oh, lovely. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I love the energy on today's event. This is so nice. Everyone is we've got people from Dubai, France, Glasgow. So we're all kind of coming together at different times of the day. So it's great to see everybody. Thank you so much for signing up today. Oh, we've got London as well. Hi, Diana. A little bit closer to where we are. Well, actually, Chloe is in Belgium, so we're all over the place today. Oh, amazing. Okay. So I'm just going to get started. So I am Sophie. I am the Senior Development Consultant at HubGem. I'll be hosting your event today. And I'll be hosting the event alongside my colleague Chloe, who will say a quick hello and introduce herself as well in a moment. Basically, we are both senior business development consultants, and our background is in independent educational organisations that do include international admissions experience and recruitment. I appreciate it's a whole other ball game, and in today's Hub Hug event, we'll be delving into the best ways to use HubSpot for education agents. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to my colleague, Chloe.
Hey everyone, it's so good to be here. We're really excited to share this hug with you, specifically around education agents. So as Sophie has said, we work for HubGem, and basically HubGem started nearly 4 years ago now, with CEO Gemma and founder, was working in an independent school herself, in the marketing and admissions teams, and was basically fed up of the way it was working, implemented HubSpot, saw the huge benefits, and wanted to spread the word, which is why we're here today. So our predominant sector is education and non-profits, but yes, today is focused around education agents, and how this, how HubSpot can really benefit your business, and just the management of various aspects of the business, which we're going to be delving into very shortly. Great, so today's agenda, we're going to be looking at managing family and school data in HubSpot, managing your inquiries and track their stages in multiple pipelines, and also how to personalize those communications with key marketing tools. There will be a Q&A as well throughout, and at the end, and we'll also be monitoring the chat. So if you've got any questions, then feel free to just pop them in there, and then we can answer them kind of either as we go, or right at the very end as well. Great. So what do education agents need, and how can HubSpot help to achieve this? So one of the main aspects is providing a unique experience to build those long-lasting relationships with parents. So this is key, and can be quite difficult to keep up with emails, inquiries, and everything that comes along with it too. Also building trusting relationships with schools, that's another key one. But having an all-in-one system to manage your data, it's also key. So those managements of relationships with the parents, data, and also the inquiries, depending on obviously who you're sending the children to specific schools, and then with that the school data. So associating these key components with children, and we can just show you how this can be associated. So I just saw a question in the chat. We will be showing the recording after as well, but I'll check if we can share the slides, if that's helpful too. Great. So just one more thing just to touch on is we're going to be looking at the management of the family and school data, and the importance of this, and how you can utilize HubSpot to help you manage that. So I'm just going to hand this over to Sophie now for this section.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Chloe. Okay, so we're going to just delve straight in with the management of family and school contact data in HubSpot. So we'll begin with managing the data within the company and contact records. So this is probably at the heart of HubSpot. And this, to be fair, is a tool that a lot of sectors absolutely love for many reasons. But in this particular event, we'll be covering exactly why this is so great for education agents. So you can see on the print screens that we have here the contact record, so a little kind of preview of what it looks like. This is really, really great for managing your parent contacts. So appreciate as agents, you may have a variety of different types of contacts. This could be obviously your parents and their applications for their children. It could be guardians, and it could also be school contacts and maybe some business partnership contacts as well. So you are actually able to fully segment your contact data using custom properties, which you are able to add as completely your own, dependent on your own processes as an agency. So you can also see on the contact record any documents that are sent in relation to the contact record. So say, for example, if this parent has submitted a form and uploaded some documentation regarding their child or the application and their interest, you'll be able to see that data against their contact record. You'll also be able to see if they have any live applications in play at the moment. So say if they have an application that's currently underway for their child, you will see that application as an association against their contact record. So it's a really nice 360 view of everything to do with this contact. So this does include any email correspondence, which is a really nice touch. I know it's really difficult sometimes to navigate multiple conversations across multiple different systems. So here you can just see everything in one place. It fully integrates with your email, so you can see everything. It also does pull in other data such as any website page visits, form submissions, if you have any internal tasks that you've set for yourself or your team members for this contact, you will also see those along the middle of the contact record here, which is the activity feed. So it's a really, really useful kind of insight into every single individual contact's record and their communications with you and your agency. So you can see just here on the left there is the company record. So this looks pretty much identical to the contact record. However, it's at a company level. So rather than the record being the individual kind of person, it's a company as a whole. So you will have some data that can be pulled in once you have submitted the domain of the company. It will kind of pull information from the websites or from Google data to show more specifically things such as the company size, the company ROI, and the kind of useful bits of data that you might like to have against a company record. These can be used really well for agents when you are perhaps managing school data as a whole. So you may have a number of, say, 5 contacts from a school that you deal with on a monthly or weekly basis, and you may want to associate all of those individual contacts to a company. So that could be just a school record, and it can have 5 different staff that are related to that school, and they will show on the kind of right-hand column, similar to the contact record, as associations to that company. So it's a really nice way to get an overview of that group of people. So you can associate the company records to contacts, and you can also associate company records with properties similar to the contact properties. So properties, if you are not already a HubSpot user, are the pieces of data that collate together to form a record. So a company or a contact record has its own properties, and these are pieces of information such as first name, last name, and if it's for a company, it could be company size, company sector, and those kind of things. You can actually also use properties to segment your contact data to kind of differentiate if it is a application, so a parent contact, or if it is a staff member from a school contact. And you can segment that data to help with any further communications that you need to do moving forward. So managing family and school contact data in HubSpot. We're going to carry on with this now and look into the list segmentation. So I did briefly touch on this on the last slide, but when we delve into it a little bit further, the lists tools in HubSpot are a fantastic tool that can be used across multiple areas of HubSpot. So for agents, this is particularly helpful as you can really segment your data to help you with your more personalized communications across schools and parents. So examples of lists that you can put together could be things such as a list of schools who offer art scholarships, or a list of schools who offer sports programs. You could also separate the data, for example, with things that are a little bit more helpful for you and your agency. So schools who offer fees that are under a certain amount or over a certain amount. That way, when an applicant or a parent comes to you and mentions that they're looking for a school of a certain budget, you can automatically go to this list and give them and present to them a list of schools that you think meet that criteria. You can also use lists for communication purposes as well. You can also use them for data management. So say if you wanted to have a list of schools that shows maybe how many current international students are at the school who you manage, you can have that in place. And potentially also lists just to show you maybe how many applications you currently have that are live and that need to be completed. So you can really segment the data based on what you would like to see, and also based on how you would like to personalize your communications and group people together. So it's a really, really helpful tool. So as I mentioned with personalizing communications, for smaller groups of schools or family contacts who have maybe specific target audiences, you may want to use these lists to create something which I will get into a little bit as we go on this hug event, but to create specific target audiences. So this tends to be used within your ads. So if you tend to use ads in your marketing, you can actually create your target audiences based off your list segmentation, which I will get into a little bit more on another slide. You can also basically create your smart content in your marketing emails, which is tailored content, which is based on your contacts list memberships. So say, for example, if you were to send a parent contact an email, just a general email, maybe to say, thank you for your interest, and you want to make it a little bit more personal based on an early form submission that has stated they're interested in sports, for example, then you could have that list membership will pull in the data that will give them a personalized view of the email. So their version might show a version of some images of sports in schools with sports images on the email. So they can see something that's a little bit more personalized to them. I will get into this in a little bit more detail as we go on. I have some examples of this, and we can go into the kind of finer details on that slide. But that's, in a nutshell, is the many reasons why lists are a fantastic tool for agents. So popular admin tools and features in HubSpot, and we have quite a few of these. Snippets and templates are one of probably the more simple tools in HubSpot, but probably one of the most effective when it comes to things like this. So agents, I appreciate you have many emails to send on a daily basis to a variety of different parents or school contacts. And I appreciate that it probably takes up a lot of your time retyping a lot of the things that are maybe commonly asked questions, such as your processes or your procedures. How do you begin your application? What do you kind of need? And these types of commonly asked questions, I appreciate, can seem a little bit daunting, having to retype the same responses all the time. So snippets are a really great tool for this. It allows you can just see on this example, where's my mouse? There it is, just here. You can basically type in maybe your paragraph of text that you tend to write a lot, and you seem to be repeatedly writing the same thing to a lot of different parents. You can add a simple paragraph, which is the main kind of point that you tend to repeat, and you can have it here in your body of your text. You can then name it. So internally, you can name it procedures, internal procedures for parents, and then you can add a hashtag. So the hashtag, this little hashtag here, once this simple hashtag is started to be typed into an email or a note on HubSpot, it will pull through automatically the body of the text that you have here. So as you can see, you can also include personalised tokens such as first name and last name. You can also include, child's name or year of interest if that's something you'd also like to add into the mix. But snippets are a really, really, really handy tool and a massively time saving. If you look on here as well, you can see the meeting links that are available in HubSpot are really, really professional looking. So you can have a full link with your Zoom. And when you have this link completely integrated with your Zoom, which is two-way integration, this can basically generate meeting links, which can look a little bit like this. You can have your meeting links embedded as a kind of call to action button or an embedded form or an embedded calendar on your websites, which makes it very, very easy for families and school staff to book some time in with you. I appreciate this is really tricky to navigate, even just if you are trying to book a meeting with a school and you're in the same country. But if you are trying to look at a variety of different locations all over the world and trying to find a time that suits you both, putting it obviously into consideration time differences, it can get a little bit tricky. So this is a really nice quick way to do that by simply providing a calendar with your availability, and that way the parents or the school staff member can select a time and a date where they're available from your calendar. And by doing so, it will lead them to a short form and it will automatically submit and select a time in your calendar and in theirs with a Zoom link. So it's a really easy and quick way to book time as opposed to the back and forth and trying to navigate your availability with your time differences. So this is a really nice tool. This is really appreciated as well by overseas parents who are potentially stressed, looking for a school for their child and trying to navigate maybe multiple different interviews with different agents and exploring different avenues. This is a massive, massive time saver, and it's just a really nice, convenient way for them to book some time in with you. This alone, experience wise, will help you to really stand out against other agents who are potentially not using that and are maybe going around it the traditional routes, because little things like this can really help with that overall customer experience when you are dealing with parents and even when you are speaking and initiating those conversations with your schools. So the tasks tool is a nice kind of simple tool, but really effective again. This can be used for internal tasks amongst you and your team. So if you maybe have quite a busy time ahead of you and you have just little tasks that tend to kind of pop up along the way, maybe a parent has asked for you to call them on a certain day, or they have asked you to send certain documentation over to them by a certain time, you can set a task or a kind of reminder for yourself to do so. You can also set these tasks for your team members as well. So that's a really, really handy tool. Once the tasks have been completed, you can simply tick them off and it will show as completed. If they're overdue as well, it will show you that they are overdue. You can also see you are able to create task queues. So say, for example, if you have a list of tasks that fall under the same similar style of tasks. It might just be to send a group of people your tier 4 application form, for example, and then you can bolt them together in a queue, and then you can chip away at that list of tasks much faster. And they just kind of, once you've completed one, it will just take you straight over to the next one. So it's a really nice way to manage your time and your workload as well. So these are really, really useful. Just a few others here that I have included in this presentation is documents and shared inboxes. So for documents, you are actually able to track your documents and your engagements, which is a really, really good tool for agents. So say, for example, if you sent a parent or a school a time-sensitive document, and you know it needs to be signed by a certain date, or maybe if it is a document that has a lot of kind of sensitive information on there, it's nice to be able to know the document is kind of tracked and you can see exactly when it's been opened, how far along the document they have got in regards to reading through the information, and you can also show any documentation with the contact records. So back to the contact records that we saw early on, you can show the documentation on the right hand column as an association to that contact record, so you can see any documents that have been shared with that contact as well. So documents can actually be stored in HubSpot, minus any medical forms, but these can be linked to external hosts, which the links can be stored in HubSpot. So it's a really nice and smooth way to navigate that one. Shared inboxes. This is a really nice tool to manage your communications in one tidy place. I appreciate with social media and with potential kind of chatbots on websites, it's hard to navigate the inquiries that you may get through different mediums. So the shared inbox basically brings through all of these different kind of inquiries into one nice, neat, tidy place. This is inclusive of if you have a generic email, maybe. So like an inquiries at or support at email. If you have any of those and you have a website chatbot or Facebook Messenger and any messages come through, they'll all come through to this one page. You can then see and respond within HubSpot on the shared inbox feature, and you can assign the conversations to team members for their attention. This is also a great place to assign any maybe early inquiries that require an action tickets, which is a whole other ball game, but we can provide any information on this for you if you'd like to chat to myself or Chloe after the event or have any questions at the end. Over to you, Chloe.
Great, thank you so much. So yeah, next we are going to be sharing with you pipelines and how these can be worked for agents. We'd recommend that you store the child data within pipelines, purely because this can then be associated with both the parents/carers, but also the schools as well. Great. So the benefits of a pipeline. So as you can see on the screen here, this is what a pipeline can look like. You can have multiple pipelines depending on your processes, but the benefits of having this is obviously the view. We find it a very useful way to view where your applications are at, but also being able to segment these further. So these can be built in to forms. So you sent out a, for example, say that you sent out a application form or an inquiry form. This gets filled in by the parent, and then basically they automatically get pulled into HubSpot and will be creating themselves, let's say. So it reduces the manual entry of the data, and they'll be sitting in their own card. Benefits of this is you can very easily track where your applications are at and what stages they're at. You can also build in automation via triggers. So say they filled out the inquiry form, they haven't yet applied. Once they then apply, this can then automatically move them along to the next stage. The stages are defined by your individual business, and these can be named obviously to what you call the stages to. So you can very easily segment these application types as well, which is a huge benefit. And then you can also have triggers set again to say you haven't received their visa application or a passport. They can't move along to that next stage until that has been created as well. So the segmentation piece, you can very easily segment if you've got the summer school or short-term placements or prep, whatever it might be. You can very easily see this via the advanced filters, and you can save this so that you can click in and very easily segment that at the click of a button. You can also personalize the stages, as I've said, and then also with that, with personalization comms linked to the marketing emails. So say they move into application received, you could then have a follow-up email sent out to say, thank you for your application, here's next steps, whatever it might be. If they need to then book a meeting with you, as Sophie said, you can embed these meeting links or as a calendar into your emails too. Great. I think next slide, please, Sophie. Thank you. So another key factor is automation. So with workflows, the benefits of using workflows, so such as what I've just said with the triggers, this is basically where the automation is set. So this provides a really unique experience for the families or also the schools, depending on kind of what aspect you're coming from. You can really save time here by not manually chasing up those outstanding documents. For example, we've got an example on the screen here. So required document is school report. You could have an email sent out to say, hi, we're still waiting on the school report, please please provide that as soon as possible, whatever it might be. We've also got event follow-ups. This is really popular as well within the education sector, to manage those events, manage the communications going out, and also the follow-up communications too. You can really simplify your processes here and easily manage the different stages of your student applications. So overall, it adds a huge amount of value to your day-to-day working, and yeah, taking away those manual tasks as well. Great. So there's a video on screen at the moment on how a workflow can work, and this is around the application documents missing. So they'll be taken down a journey, and it will be checking throughout if they've provided the document needed, and they'll be taken down different branches. So as you can see on the screen here, if they've attached it, they'll then be sent a thank you and next steps and whatever your kind of processes are. If they haven't, they can have another nudge of an email. It might be that you need to give them a call, so you can have a task set to give them a call. But it really helps to show that engagement between you and the prospective family, should I say, and just as I said, the daily management of these tasks as well. These workflows can also update records, as we've said as well. So it'll be looking around the triggers of, okay, is this property filled in? Has this got the data in that it needs? Great.
Amazing, thank you. So we look into personalising communications with some key marketing tools. So in the next few slides, we'll be sharing some of the top marketing tools that allow you to nurture all of your leads and manage your marketing efforts in one nice and tidy place. So we begin with socials and marketing emails, all of the fun, creative stuff. So we've just put a few print screens on here to show you exactly how it can look in regards to managing your social media in HubSpot. So we'll begin with socials, this busy looking calendar over here. So this is really, really great for managing in HubSpot for agents, because it basically allows you to have insights of content engagements, and basically allows you to see any maybe common patterns if you notice any parents or any schools that are kind of engaging with your content a lot. It will definitely highlight that for you, which makes it a nice potential segue for you to introduce yourselves. It can also offer you the ability to pre-plan your content and view your calendar to stay consistent. So you can see here on this kind of print screen here, this is a full calendar view of all of the pre-scheduled social posts and which platforms they'll be going out on. If you hover your mouse over any of these, it won't work on this, unfortunately, because it is a print screen, but it will show you the full post. So you can get a little preview of what the post entails. So basically, HubSpot does fully integrate with all socials, so HubSpot, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And it can also link to any wider campaigns that you can manage in HubSpot, which I will delve into, I believe, on the next slide, I think. So it gives you an in-depth, customizable analytics that show direct conversion rates from social posts to ads, which is a really nice touch. I appreciate social is hard to kind of to keep up, to keep consistent, and it can be a little bit disheartening when you don't really see what it's doing for your organization. So the analytics allow you to clearly see where your social posts are leading to conversions, or perhaps leading to new contacts in your database. So you can really see what difference it's making, which helps you to kind of plan more in advance and see what's working to do more of that, and maybe what isn't working and to do less of that. So if we look into marketing emails, so the marketing email tool in HubSpot is really, really nice to work with, to be honest. It's great to create kind of dynamic, smart content, as I mentioned earlier. And for agents, I think this is really key. Because the personalization of your communications at every point is crucial. When you are, I appreciate you already know this, but when you are dealing with parents who are trying to find the right fit school for their children overseas, especially. It's a huge task and it can be really daunting. And it's massively important that they feel nurtured and cared for during that process. So little kind of aspects such as smart content can be really, really useful. And again, be one of those things that really help your agency stand out amongst others. So the little things that smart content can do, such as just pulling in data based on that parent's maybe previous form submissions and the information they've provided, to show that you've listened to what they've told you and that you are giving them the data that they are actually really interested in knowing more about. So the smart content can actually be applied via imagery, it can be via any call to action buttons, also via text. So there might be maybe a paragraph of text, such as maybe this one. Oh, sorry, my mouse has disappeared. This one here, that maybe reads about a particular type of school. And for the smart content rule, which is where as a little reminder, where the person who is receiving the email, based on their list memberships, so say if they're on a list that is stating they're looking into art schools, then the smart content will pull through based on you putting it together for this one email, any kind of more art specific content. So maybe more artsy drawings and pictures, and maybe a paragraph that's more focused on art offerings within certain locations. So it's a really nice tool that makes the parents feel like they're being heard, which is massively important in this process. So other aspects that you can use to personalize the content is the personalized tokens, which you did mention a little bit before, where you pull through the contact's first names, maybe their child's first names, the year group of entry of interest, maybe the locations they're looking at. You can also really, really easily incorporate any graphics via Canva, which is a really nice tool where you can literally create and design little kind of graphics that you want to add into your marketing email from within HubSpot, and it connects completely. So it's a really nice and quick and easy way to make your marketing emails a little bit more, well, just prettier. So you have all of that data available in your marketing emails. These are really great because, as opposed to sending a marketing email maybe to say 500 people, and of those 500 people you have to do about 10 different versions of the email based on their interests or their specific form submissions. This instead allows you to create just one bulk email and then add the smart rules, which will make sure that email, when it is sent to all the individual contacts, is slightly tweaked and personalized based on each individual's form submissions and their data. Sorry, my mouse is not working. Okay, so marketing tools. As we continue, we're going to delve into the beautiful world of forms. So forms is a really great tool in HubSpot. It's so easy to put together, and I appreciate that pulling together and collating data in general just can seem a little bit daunting when it is managed over multiple platforms. So for agents, I appreciate that there are a lot of forms involved, whether it's forms to work with you as an agency, whether it's forms that you are sharing on your behalf for applicants to fill out and complete so you can share with schools. There are lots of forms involved in the overall international recruitment process. So HubSpot is fantastic for being able to pull together forms via a really user-friendly software. So nice drag and drop on here you can see the drag and drop tools where you can drag properties and literally pull them into the forms that you would like. The forms are also very easily embedded onto website pages. You can create them as a standalone page completely, which tends to work nicer for those kind of longer, more complex forms. Or you can simply create a pop-up form that maybe ask them to subscribe to your agency, just to maybe be notified of any upcoming important dates or just general marketing emails to keep them in the loop and to keep them engaged with your content. So you can add things like logos and branding to your forms as well to make sure they are still in alignment with you and your organization. One thing that's really nice, which I think will be really helpful for agents, is you can add logic to your forms. So if somebody completes a form and they maybe perhaps say, they are looking at UK schools. You can say if a person selects UK or British schools, or maybe schools in the London area, then show them a list of schools and ask them to select those that they are interested in. So it can only show them the follow-up question based on their previous answer. So you can add the logic-based aspects to your forms as well, just to make them a little bit more tailored to that individual. And these are also a great way for you to collate and collect the documents that you need at the early stages. So maybe if you need a passport image attached to a document to kind of initiate and put a applicant or a family on your system, that can be easily done via the HubSpot tools in the forms. You can also add them as triggers for your automated workflows. So say, for example, if somebody has submitted a form, that automatically enrolls them into a communications workflow where they may be sent the next steps via an email, or you can even add them into a static list to say list of new inquiries for this year, and they can automatically put themselves into the list. And one of the best things about form submissions is this is also a way for anybody to basically put themselves onto your portal. So if you don't want to be manually adding different people and you're very busy and you can maybe miss some people, form submissions, maybe just that first general inquiry form submission on your page automatically puts that applicant and that parent onto your system. So you'll already have them there and they can be included in any marketing emails, any automated communications workflows, just naturally. So you don't have to worry about that manual side of kind of adding them into your system. Okay, so ads. I'm going to delve back into ads and mention the phrase lists again. I know it comes up a lot, but just humour me because it's really good. But the lists, again, fall nicely in with your ads. So this is really great for agents because it allows you to manage and track your ads from different platforms, but in one nice, neat, tidy place. So you can see on here, this particular view, actually down the middle, is what you'll see when you log into your HubSpot ads pages. It has a full two-way integration with Google Ads, so it can pull through any insights and data from Google. But what it does as a little added bonus from HubSpot, it will give you this little kind of row of data across here, which basically shows the impressions. So this one in particular is showing the total impressions of all of the ads across Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter. And it will basically tell you the overall impressions, but you can look at each individual ad and see this exact same data. So the impressions, and then it will tell you that of those impressions, you produced this amount of clicks. Sorry, my eyesight's getting really bad. So you produced, so this amount of impressions resulted in this amount of clicks, and it will even tell you the cost of each click. And then of those clicks, this amount of people became contacts in your HubSpot portal. And of these amount of people, I don't know, this is zero, but it is on the demo portal, so please humor me. But the zero contacts, say this resulted in 10 contacts. Of those contacts, X amount became customers. So you can see the exact pathway from your ad engagement straight through to engagement with the ad itself. Of that engagement, what of those engagements became contacts in your database, and of those contacts, who then became customers, or in this case, applicants, so applications that are live and kind of in the process in your system. It will give you a total amount spent and really nice percentage of return of investment. So you'll get a really nice overall view of your ads and where your ads is basically resulting in new leads, for example. So you can see here as well, this is where the list comes in. The create an audience tool is also a really, really nice tool in HubSpot that agents can utilize. So number one, you can basically choose, for example, a list based on contact lists or company lists. So say you have a contact list that is a list of people who have inquired about your services, but maybe not kind of actioned anything else, and you want to kind of prompt them to do something. So maybe the ad can be, encouraging them to book an appointment with you or to meet with you. So you can basically target your ad to a set list of contacts. So maybe it could be a list of parents who, like I say, have just filled out an inquiry form and not taken any further action. or it could be pushed towards a company if you are looking to kind of expand your client list and to build more kind of relationships with potential schools. That could be a really nice one as well for you to push the ad towards. So these lists, like I say, can be used for multiple things, inclusive of your ads and your target audiences, and allowing you to create an audience based off these lists. You can also push your lids and create lists, push your ad to an audience who have perhaps been on your website. So if somebody accepts cookies and they've been on your website quite a lot, you can push the ad towards those people just to kind of prompt them to come back and to see more about what you do. And this is one of my favorites, the lookalike audiences. So you can basically create an audience that looks a lot like your ideal customer. So you can maybe base it off a list that you have, maybe a list of successful applicants from last year. And you can say, I want this ad to go out to potential families who fit very similar demographics to this list. And it will push the ad out to brand new people who will meet very similar criteria as to the ones who have already gone through the system and have children placed in schools via your agency. So that's a really, really nice tool. This is also good to promote your agency to new schools and to create new business partnerships as well. So, all in all, we like ads a lot. Okay, and finally, campaigns. So this is really great for agents because it allows you to bring all of your assets from your marketing efforts into one place and collate them together to create some really nice reporting and analytics and insights into what is effective. So, for example, in the case of an agent, this might be maybe a September 2024 recruitment list, or it could be, sorry, a September 2024 focus. So you might want to focus most social posts against this particular kind of area. You might want to push any blog posts, any marketing emails, and send them around recruitment for September 2024. You can basically collate all of these different assets and see how they have, as a group, resulted in maybe new applicants for that year. So it's a really, really nice tool to put everything together. You can see here, this is how the campaign tool looks. So you can see on here, you can compare campaigns. So you might want to compare this year's intake to last year's intake, or perhaps compare different sectors in regards to location to see which is maybe the route that you'd like to kind of focus on more based on the amount of applicants that you have received from those locations, maybe an interest in schools in a certain country or certain city that you'd like to focus on and compare it to another city to see which one you think has been performing best and which one you can focus your efforts on moving forward as well. So it's a really nice way to collate all of your marketing data and efforts in one place.
Perfect.
Now,
Great.
sorry.
Yeah, so on to reporting. We're going to touch on this as it is important for every organisation and business, especially in this era as well. So yeah, on to the reports. So there is a whole library of reports kind of pre-built, let's say, within HubSpot. Which is great. So you can very easily just go in and hopefully search for a report that you would find useful. There is also something called the custom report builder. So that is basically anything that you specifically need. So in theory, any kind of data in HubSpot can be reported on. There is different ways that you can manage this. So it could be a single object, so either if it's just on the contact record or a deal record, or you can have multi objects included as well. So if you needed to see both the contact and the company record, you can have these reports built out too. So there's a few on the screen here at the moment. So you've got engaged schools by city. It might be that place offered, applications by year group, applications offered by country as well. That's a popular one that we find with agents. And also the average time spent in a specific deal stage. Obviously, the numbers are pretty high here. This is our demo portal, so apologies for the example. But this is, again, a really useful tool to have, especially when tracking if an application's been sat in a stage for too long. You could have an email triggered, I don't know, say if they've sat in application received and they haven't yet taken the next step. Say they've sat in there for more than a week or more than a couple of days, you could also trigger an email off the back of this too. So a really great way to segment your reports is also via the dashboards. Dashboards basically collate a whole. So do you mind just popping onto the next slide? Because I think we've got a dashboard. There we go.
Yes,
Perfect.
sorry about that.
No,
Yeah.
that's fine. So yeah, the reports dashboard basically is where you can collate specific reports into one dashboard. So you might want an agent's one, you might want a school's one, you might want a family's one, just to be able to collate all this data in one go. So as you can see here, you can pull in multiple reports here. You can move them around, you can make them look as kind of fancy as you like, but a really useful way to be able to see and segment your data in one go. Another popular feature is that you can share these dashboards, so say with other team members or with schools, for example. Whatever it might be, you can share these via email. This could be a recurring email, so get it every Monday morning at 8 a.m, whatever it might be. And also you could send these as a PDF as well. So depending on how you're wanting to share this, this data, there's a lot that you can do with the HubSpot reporting tools. Just to touch on a few other examples as well. On the regarding just the custom report builder, as we've mentioned, you can basically pin it down to very tiny little bits of information that you could possibly want and need, and use these to your advantage. For example, setting triggers of tasks, and just that kind of day-to-day management of knowing where students are at. Or for example, here on the pie chart, you've got where they've come from. So if they're a referral, if they're from offline sources, if they're from ads, socials, whatever it might be, you can bring it all into the HubSpot reports as well. Great, I think we're on to integrations next.
Oh, sorry, I skipped on there a little bit. Thank you, Chloe. Integrations. So this is one that we are just going to touch on very lightly. Because it is a very complex area that we can be probably talking about as an event on its own. So I'm just going to just lightly touch on a few of the bits and the most kind of common ones that we come across in this sector. So HubSpot's aim is to streamline and to collate data from multiple places in one place, but there is sometimes a need for the odd integration. So we just touch on the most common ones that we tend to see, particularly in the education sector, and ones that we think will be really useful for agents as well. So we can see here we have Zoom. So Zoom, as we did briefly touch on, also we have Teams and Google Meet. So all of these kind of meeting forums, they do really nice integrations with HubSpot, full two-way. So they allow you to make booking your meetings and things much easier with families, and you can link them with your calendar as well directly to make it really seamless, and just a nice, easy aspect of your organization, as opposed to maybe something that could be a little bit complicated to organize without these lovely integrations. Just to let you know as well that HubSpot has an open API. So there are actually a lot of off-the-shelf integrations available, but these are the kind of main ones that we tend to see a lot around the education space. So they use the complete two-way integration with your email, so Outlook and Gmail. So all of your email correspondence are fully tracked against a contact record, and that is inclusive of any attached documents. So this is really helpful if you want to see if an email's been opened, or if anything that you've sent across as a link, for example, has been clicked on. It will even go as far as to tell you when the link's been clicked and how many times. So it's a really, really nice insight that helps when you are trying to kind of communicate with potential applicants or schools. Facebook Messenger, I couldn't see the Facebook one there, but we have a Facebook Messenger integration as well, and that does actually allow you to manage your conversations in HubSpot via the conversations inbox that we touched on a little bit earlier. So it's a really nice tool to basically link with your HubSpot, and it links again with your contact records as well. So if there's any correspondence via Facebook Messenger, then it can be linked to that contacts record. Now we have WhatsApp in here as well. This, I understand, is a preferred method of communications for many families overseas, and a lot of agents. So this is really great because you can actually log communications via this platform against the contact record, and WhatsApp messages can also be included in the automation workflows. So that's a really nice touch where you can add that as part of your general communications. It gives it a bit more of a personal touch. And sometimes parents who may be living slightly busier lifestyles may find it easier to go back and forth with the agent via WhatsApp as opposed to emails. So they can kind of respond while they're on the go. Um, you can also monitor incoming WhatsApp messages in the conversations inbox as well. And you can send out reminders as part of workflows. So maybe send a little WhatsApp to say, hi, we've noticed you haven't completed this application form and the deadline's coming up. Can you please log into this portal or log into your application to continue or to complete. And you can add that little reminder message into your communication workflows, which makes it really nice and easy as a little prompt to add to the overall experience for your parents, and even maybe perhaps your schools if there's anything that they have outstanding as well. So that brings us to the end of our HubSpot user group event for agents. Are there any questions at all? I'm so sorry I've not been monitoring the chats as much as I should have during that event. But are there any particular questions that anyone would like to discuss with myself and Chloe at all? You're welcome to put them in the chat. Sorry, I didn't make that very clear. You can put them in the chat and we can discuss and hopefully provide you with some of the answers that you'd like.
I've been answering a couple as we go, so might not be a
you.
huge amount at the moment, but yeah, any other
Thank
questions,
you.
then do you just pop them in?
Here we go. Diana, you have agent experience. Did you use HubSpot to track commissions? And if so, any advice? Okay, that's a really good question. So my experience was on the school side, and I would manage the agent relationships and the applications for international students with agents. So I didn't particularly go into the commission side myself. But in regards to kind of tracking that in HubSpot, I would advise doing that via reporting tools. So you can add monetary values to your applications. So the objects that we'd use for applications are referred to as deals in HubSpot, and you can add monetary amounts to your deals. So say if you know what your commission rate is from each school, then you can add that amount to the deal record, and it will show how much commission you'll be getting for each application. It will actually show a really nice view on your application pipeline where you have all of your applications showing on one screen, and for each kind of part, every kind of step, if you like, of the pipeline. So you can say application received, application approved. It will show you on each kind of column what amount in total is sitting in each column. So you can kind of have a nice view of what commission is sitting at each column, which is a nice little prompt to get you to give people a nudge if they're maybe not completing their forms when they should. But it's also nice when you have that against your reporting as well. How would you separate the deal amount if the client also pays a fee from the commission amount? I've been kicking around using line items. Okay. I think just off the top of my head, you could maybe
Kind of
have
depends
the deal.
on your setup, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. No, it's okay. It's good. I like these kind of questions. I'm just thinking if you have a deal and then on the deal, there's the managed recurring revenue, and things like that, like different numerical values you can have against it. So it's not just the actual amount of the deal record. There's other kind of aspects of that amount. How much commission do you get? And you can kind of add that as like a kind of secondary value to the deal, perhaps. But that is something that I love that question. I'm going to look into that a little bit more, and I'd be happy to speak with you about it on a call or via an email, because I love that question. I think that's a really nice question.
Yeah, we'll definitely put our meeting links in the follow-up emails, so feel free to book in any time with me and Sophie.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love that. Oh, thank you so much, Debbie, as well. That's so lovely of you to say. Oh, you're welcome, Diana. Thank you. Oh, oh, such a lovely comment. Thank you so much. Is there any more questions at all at this point? If you maybe think of any after the event, you're welcome to reach out and we can have a little chat about anything. And we'll try and share the slides as well with you because I think they might be quite a nice PDF for you to kind of look back on, as well as the recording. So you will all receive a recording as well of this if you'd like to share with any of your team members. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, so let's just end with some resources. Over to you, Chloe. Thank you so
Yeah,
much.
perfect. So yeah, we've got a bunch of resources to be sharing with you. So on the screen, so if we could just nudge along just quickly. Great. So we've got various blog posts that we'll be sharing with you, and also a resource around HubSpot for agents. And also we just have our usual product updates, so it might be useful for Diana as well. So how these new HubSpot product updates can be utilised in the education space as well. So anyone that's currently using HubSpot, really great to sign up to that, as you'll get a kind of a regular update on the new features. These will all be sent out via the emails. So yeah, over to you, so for the next steps.
Thank you. So next steps. So we would love if you could subscribe to our marketing and admissions blog. It's full of useful tips on how to utilize your HubSpot tools in education specifically. We also have a lot on there for kind of marketing admissions separately and some kind of well-being initiative, nice little kind of blog post that might be a nice little read for you as well. You can obviously enjoy your free resources. A lot of them are mixed between blogs and downloadable PDFs, and little kind of worky bits you can do, for example, kind of content planners and things like that. We would suggest keeping an eye out for our upcoming hug sessions because we have a really exciting hug coming up next, which we will notify you all when it is live. This one is happening at the end of November, and it will be a special guest hug. Obviously, all around education, and all of the details will be coming very, very soon. So we'd love to email you those details just so you can sign up as and when everything is released. You may also like to watch any of our previous hugs, such as the Managing International Recruitment Hug, which was a really fun one as well. And I'm sure there'll be lots that you can take from that one if you enjoyed this one. And we also have a nice mini hug, which is 30 minutes long, all on InCycle and data management tools. So that's a really nice one as well. But all of our previous hugs are available on YouTube. So you're welcome to have a little watch of anything that you might like to take anything from. I'd also encourage you to join our Hug for Education community on Facebook and LinkedIn. These are really great groups to meet any kind of like-minded organizations and maybe get some ideas, as well as see any events notifications, any upcoming events that are coming up to show the links as to when they are released and the dates. So they're a really nice hub just to connect with like-minded organizations using HubSpot. So I'm going to wrap it up because I appreciate it is 12
Bang
o'clock on the
on.
dot.
Yeah.
Amazing. Wow, that was amazing. But yeah, thank you so much everybody for joining today. I really enjoyed it.
Yes. It's been great. Thank you all for coming and for your questions and comments in the chat. It's been really engaging. So thank you so much.
It has. Honestly, I hope it's been helpful and that a few things have popped up that you maybe wasn't aware of, or maybe just be reminded that it is something you can do in HubSpot. But thank you so much again. If you'd like to chat to myself or Chloe, then I'll make sure to leave some details in your follow-up emails along with this recording. But thank you so much, everybody, and we'll see you hopefully very soon. Thank you so much, Mara. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye.
See you.
Bye, everybody.